Hi there. We are 30 minutes out of St. Patrick's Day. 36 minutes, okay. And do you know what March 18th is? March 18th is National Awkward Moments Day. So, you know that awkward moment where you were talking to somebody and you really didn't know what to say to them, and then they finally walk away and you're totally relieved. Like, oh, good, I don't have to talk to that person again. They're gone. And then you turn around and there they are. That's me. It's Awkward Moments Day. So, here's that awkward moment for you. I'm back. Yeah. Almost 40 minutes later. Whatever. There's a reason I'm doing this, and the reason is I skipped a couple of weeks. So, I ended my last video when we tasted Silky saying sláinte, which is the Irish form of cheers. So I decided to make this video within an hour of ending St. Patty's Day. No offense to any Irish people, but with another tasting. This one is a Highland blended Scotch. Because why not? It's Awkward Moments Day. So, in this case, the awkward moment is going to be really, really awkward for someone, I'm pretty sure. Because I'm going to do the same thing I just did, less than an hour ago. Just this time, I'm going to do it with the Glengarry, which is Loch Lomond Distillery. It's a Highland blended Scotch. It's 4 years old. I tend to enjoy anything from Loch Lomond. So I'm going to enjoy this too. Now, this is an 80 proof blended Scotch whiskey. It cost $30, which in general is what I look for. Obviously, that doesn't work with everything, but $30 is kind of a price that I keep my eye open for. So we're going to taste it today, or tonight, whatever. I haven't gone to sleep, so it's the same day. So it's sort of St. Patty's Day, but not really. So I would give this a good amber. Lighting is what it is. It's always going to be that way, so just, get used to it. But I would give it a good amber color. Now, on the nose, the immediate thing that hits me is oak. Makes total sense, but oak in a slightly different way than you might think. We talk a lot about campfire and charred oak and toasted oak and things like that. In this case, I'm getting oak, but it's when I was a kid. I had a friend who lived in this neighborhood. We'd ride our bikes all over the place. We're in the mountains of Colorado. It was a pretty safe neighborhood, but there was a street maybe a quarter mile away from his house that on the corner there was a grove, what I would call a grove of scrub oak. And if you found just the right spot, it was like a doorway and you could walk inside, and it was kind of like a ready-made fort. You didn't have to do anything, it was just there. And a bunch of us would go in there and hang out, especially in the summer. And it was scrub oak, and it had a very distinct smell, especially towards the end of summer, when the leaves were falling off and it was starting to get a little bit drier. There wasn't as much rain and the snow hadn't started yet, so it was a little bit different. That's the oak that I'm talking about. It hits me immediately. Also, honey, green apple, straw, which isn't that weird, but cattails. I'm getting something like cattails. It's kind of a dusty, grassy smell. That's one thing I'm getting, and like a somewhat well taken care of leather bound book, like a Bible. I get that as well. Now, I will say, and we'll taste some stuff together later, that you'll hear. My descriptions of Scotch whiskeys are not always flattering. This one smells really, really good. I have no negative thoughts about the smell. And not that they would be really negative, just I have nothing that sounds negative. I guess that makes sense. So, when I taste it, I'll get apple. Maybe like Granny Smith apple. Honey. A little bit of plum. What I would, like cinnamon. It's pretty light, but it's cinnamon. Vanilla. But also something that maybe isn't mentioned even in food enough. Pink peppercorn. It's a spice. It's a spiciness. It's not quite as strong as black pepper or white pepper. Also not quite to the cayenne level. It's a little more subtle, a little more fresh, but still kind of spicy. Man, it's really, really good. And as I started doing in the last video, I got some kind of nostalgia things to talk about. In this case, years and years ago, my wife and I moved into a townhome. This was our first place together. And I won't mention my feelings about the location, but in this townhome, when we moved in, and it kind of had that not new house, but fresh, no one's been here for a little while kind of smell. The way that smells, the way that kind of feels, like move-in day at the new house kind of thing. It takes me there. It also takes me somewhere a little different, and this has to do with the peat a little more. So when I was growing up, there was a swamp behind our house. There was a creek, but kind of between the creek and our backyard was a sort of swampy area. It was swampy. It was muddy. It was gross. There were two kind of streams that you had to jump over to get to the creek. But just on our side of it, my mom had a garden. She grew things like snow peas and sometimes pumpkins and things like that. But there was, if the wind was just right, you got that kind of swamp odor mixed with the nice smells of a fresh garden. Um, has happened like August in my life anyway. In August, we would get this kind of smell. It was that stale, swampy, boggy kind of smell, mixed with the ready to be picked and eaten snow peas and green beans and carrots that my mom was growing. I get that as well. Um, but I also, not that I was drinking at this point, but if you've if you can kind of remember, because if you're watching this and you're listening to this, uh, unless you're my kids, you've experienced what I'm about to say. When you graduate high school, um, and for some people it's right after high school before you go to college. For some people it's in the middle of college, whatever. There's a moment towards the end of summer when you're about to go back to school or go to college for the first time or whatever, where there's a distinct feeling that your youth is over. For some people, that's, you turn 18 and you go to college or you go to the military or whatever, and you get that feeling. For others, it's around the time you turn 21 and you realize that, hey, I'm not really a young person anymore, but I'm not really old either. But it's a flavor, a feeling that I get from this that reminds me of the end of youth. Your teenage years are over. You're not real sure what you're about to do, but you know that part just ended. Some people are optimistic about it, some are pessimistic, but either way, you kind of look back and you go, not young anymore. Now I got to get old. It gives me that kind of feeling. And I certainly don't mean that in a bad way. You got to get older. There's nothing wrong with getting older. And it's kind of a hopeful end of youth, in my opinion. But I really like this. If I was scoring this out of 10, which obviously I'm gonna do, I would give this an 8. I really enjoy this. I will definitely want to drink this on a somewhat regular basis. Maybe not every day, but when I'm feeling like relaxing and like it was a good day, I would definitely pull this one out. And because it was only $30, and that's at a store that we usually get a discount at, but the guy who gives us the discount wasn't there. We still got it for $30. So I would say that's, for value for the money, I would say that's like a 9 out of 10. That's a pretty good value. Get an 8 level whiskey for $30. That's awesome. So this will be it for tonight. But stay tuned. I'm going to keep doing this. Even if only a few of you are watching. I know I have like 5 subscribers. Whatever. I'm doing this more for me than I'm doing it for you. No offense. If you get something out of it, that's awesome. I hope you do. If not, I'm still going to do it. Because why not? Hopefully you learn something. Hopefully you try some of these. I would definitely suggest trying most of them. I'll give you a pretty good, piece of information if I think you might not like it. But there's something to like in everything. So everybody's going to like something different. I enjoy this. I'm gonna finish this. And hey, make a moment awkward today, because it is Awkward Moments Day. Cheers.